Hi everyone, I'm Niccara.
And I'm Brandon.
And welcome to our podcast, But Make It Books.
A podcast where we are bookishly healing through this journey we call life.
So, as we always started, how you feeling?
I'm just a little sleepy today. Been a little busy, a little mentally taxed just a little bit, but things are resolving and progress, motion. That's all I ever ask of flow. And so
we love resolve.
You know, we love that always.
Always. Peace. And give us peace.
Peace. Always peace. Always peace.
Peace, my brother.
How you feeling?
I'm really good because I'm engaged. All of a sudden, I'm left-handed.
She's left-handed now.
So, I'm really good. I was shocked. Look, I'm so excited to knock my ponytail. I was really shocked. I was very happy. He did a very good job. And so, I'm ecstatic.
It really has. You have been very joyful. It's no secret to us by now, but you have been doing the left hand thing, it's like all of a sudden, you put your hand on the cheek there, and all of a sudden,
I was like,
now
I just hold my phone, even though I'm right-handed.
Exactly, I know. I love it for you. That's exciting, and it's you and Dwayne have been partners for how long now? Or
we've known each other. We met in undergrad, but we got together in 2014.
Yeah.
So, it'll be 10 years next year.
Yeah, I made it through the pandemic and everything,
We did. And growing up together and from an 18, 19-year-old to now firmly in our 30s, it's crazy.
Yeah, I love it.
We still like each other, and that's good.
That's a very good thing.
That's important.
Yeah, it sounds like black love to me.
Yes, it does, which is what our topic is. Get into her. So we always started off with an icebreaker, breaking ice, polar bears, sitting on ice. We don't know yet. We're going to come up with a snowball, if you will. Egg custard with marshmallow on the bottom and on the top. Baltimore classic. So if you had to choose one word to describe love, what would it be and why? Is it a feeling, an action, a choice, or something else entirely?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, we talking about love, but we can deal with
it. I told myself I wasn't gonna be authentic in this. I wasn't gonna look at. Oh man, I should have thought. I mean, it's certainly a feeling. Dang, just one word. Feeling.
Feeling is what you. Yeah, if you would describe it.
I could give it a phrase. It is the juxtaposition of clarity and confusion.
Expound on that.
You know how you feel. You don't know how you got there. And that's all throughout. That's on the good days. That's on the bad days. It's on the happy days. It's oh, how did I get to be here? How did I get to be so lucky? How did I get to be whatever? On the bad days, it's okay, how did I get here? Why am I still here?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
And so it's and that entire time, it's you're constantly not questioning in a I don't get it kind of way, but just processing, constantly checking in on that mixed part, because it is not something that I have come to find love is undefinable outside of terms of just the actual word. It's because I'm in love. It's because I love this, because I love them. It's because I love it, whatever. And that's where the clarity comes in. It's because I love it. All the questions and all the confusions that come up behind from that question of love and what is love, it gets clearer when you just settle into it. It's because I'm in love here. Again, for me, it's the juxtaposition of confusion and clarity. Because I don't think you are without one or the other when you're experiencing love.
That's real. If I were to describe love, I would say it is an action. If I use one word, choice. Because you choose every day to fight for something or someone, this idea of love. You can walk away when it gets too hard, but if you choose to stay, that is a choice that you're making. Every day you're waking up and you're choosing this person, you're choosing this life, you're choosing the joy, you're choosing the hardships, you're choosing the sadness, the happiness, all the things that you described. But it is a choice, because when it gets hard, we see most people usually do leave. If it's like I can't function or I feel like this is just too hard, I cannot do it, you are then choosing that this love is too hard, I am done. But when you say this is hard, but I choose you, despite all your flaws and despite the flaws also I possess, I'm still choosing you. And so for me, love is always a choice.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, so that was a good one. I like that one. That was a little deep. We got deep with the love. So we're going to be talking more about like why do we believe that Black authors or Black love stories aren't put on the same pinnacle as like, or platform, maybe pinnacle's on a platform as these other big love writers, big romance writers. And I want to go into the stats of romance because I think that will give us more clarity on the money piece, because as we know, we live in a capitalistic world, and so money rules everything around me. So literally cream. So some romance business stats. Romance novels generate 1.4 billion in revenue, making romance the highest earning genre in fiction. Romance reached 19 million print units over the last 12 months as of August 2020, compared to in 2021, which was at 36%. Then we also see that romance is becoming the fastest growing genre, which I can also attest. I contribute to that during the pandemic. I wanted love and light, and so that's what it gave. And it's also 66% of adult fiction growth in 2020. The best romance novels of all time are 50 Shades of Grey. It sold 150 million copies. Pride and Prejudice is next by Jane Austen, sold 120 copies. Now, when we talk about diversity, 92.2% of romance novels published in 2021 were written by white authors, while 7.8% of romance novels published in 2021 were written by Black or POC authors. 73% of romance readers are white, 12% are Black, 7% Latino or Hispanic for API. So when you hear that, what comes to your mind after I spilled out all these things, facts, and topics, and all the things?
I mean, immediately I go to like the capitalistic and naturally white supremacist structure of publishing and making the bestsellers lists here and achieving that X amount of copies sold goal and obviously making money and pitching stories that we know but with a fresh take on them. You know, however that means. Problem is, I find that same issue in communities like, you know, in my theater background. They want cool stories, things that we've never seen before, or new spins on stories that are like classic tropes, you know, guy gets girl, girl loses guy, all that. But we're still seeking that new take from the same community. We're still providing the same resources, the same opportunities to the same people. We're not stepping outside of that 73% of readers that are white. We're not stepping outside of that and saying, hey, by the way, this genre's for you too. We're not taking the 90-something% of white authors in the genre and saying, hey, that's great. Also, we're looking for something different, and actually cutting that number to something lower, and then taking that money or those resources and putting it into a higher percentage of these other communities. It's like you're not doing the hard decisions, because I understand they're hard for you. To me, they're clear as day and easy. But for you, they're hard. And so you don't want to do that because there's a risk factor. There's oh, no one knows you. We don't know your name. Or, you know, what awards have you won? What accolades do you have? Where do you come from? Like, those types of questions always bother me. It's like, because, you know, you don't hold the standard, or you're not the gatekeeper of success or notoriety. And yet somehow we uphold that in every facet, even in the romance literature genre.
Yeah.
A space where that's like where people go for their beach reads, like when people come in, oh, I want something light, something fun. We struggle so hard around the bookstore trying to find something light when people come in and ask all the time, oh, I want something less heavy, whatever. But we all like big world stories, or like I'm a trauma reader. Like I love all those hard things. And so most often when we refer to somebody, we refer to the romance genre. Right. But then it's all full of, we have done a great job of having a relatively eclectic selection.
You do.
But honestly, you know, we've still got like all the Emily Henrys and all the Hoovers and all the, you know, McBrennans and all, you know, all these
Hoover and
Henry,
you know what I mean? Are like crazy. I'm like, I did not know people were addicted to the girlies like that.
She was, Hoover was one of Time's Women of the, like 100 most influential people this past, just because she just cranks them out. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's, again, that's the machine of publishing, and that's the problem I see with it, because it is a machine. Yeah. You know?
But I would say, too, as I looked at the stats and I was doing some research for this episode, I think that media drives culture. Yeah. Or makes things acceptable or normalizes things in society. I think that the more we get more authors that are Black, API, whatever may have you, really baking into the romance genre, then we can see that all love is beautiful. And you can also see yourself in this other story, although you may not look like this person. You can still identify with this person. So that's why I love Jasmine Guillory. Like, I'm obsessed with her. Like, she's the best. She views Black women in a way where we've never really seen that before, where they're the most highly desirable, highly educated, all those things. And we as people who tell people what to read or give suggestions, not tell them, but give them suggestions on what to read, we have a responsibility to then tell them, hey, like, read these authors where the protagonist is a Black person, or the couple is Black, or whatever may have you, queer, whatever. We have a responsibility as, especially me, I think, as like a cisgender woman, to push things on folks that they may not have thought to read, but they'll read it so you can start understanding, like, everybody is deserving of love, not just, and I loved the last book Emily Henry wrote. Was it While We're on Vacation? Something like that. I think it was called that, and it was great. It was great.
People on Vacation? Is that what it was?
I think so. People on Vacation. It was great. However, I was like, it's just as good to me as a Jasmine Guillory read. But but both of them are, you know, a white couple. And I was like, okay, I can see myself in here. So why are we not uplifting the Black love story? And why is it always diminished? So I just think about that a lot. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about some popular romance novels that I would recommend before we get into further discussion, and I would say Waiting to Exhale by Terry McMillan, because you got McMillan. Yeah, you have to read it, right? Yeah. Like, it's a bit amazing. 7 Days in June, Wedding Date series, Prima collection, which is not Black but brown, and I'm obsessed with them. Take a Hint, Danni Brown, and The Death of Vivek Oji. Mm-hmm. And so those are books that I would suggest. What role do you think, like, Black romance novels play in empowering Black people and Black women in general?
First off, I think we're still at that level of just needing representation, just on a foundational level, because we have so many personal stories of Black love that are so dynamic, you know, and I think about my own life and, like, just personal, like, whether it's family or, like, chosen family or friends and things like that, and I've seen their relationships turn marriages and so forth, and where those have, like, stayed strong, where they faltered, where they've split at, you know, whatever ends. I see a very wide collection of narratives in the Black romance life, but we often don't get as many opportunities to describe that in Black romance literature. It is often, when I think about Black love, I think about Bell Hooks breaking down love. Yes. I think about, you know, the number of stories, like even like American Marriage, and about how, you know, love can change on you,
the time,
whatever, you know what I mean? We still need to get on that one. But
yes,
I think about it in that way that is not, oh, I just want a light beach read.
Yeah.
And I know that I have seen Black love be that light, joy-centric version. But I know I've seen it in my life. I haven't read it so many times in my books. And maybe that's my fault because I'm not a romance
because Jasmine
reader.
Guillory is light.
You know what I mean? So it's like, do I have to be secluded to just one genre in order to get that story? Like, can I read general fiction that is about love and that protagonists happen to be Black? And they go through their courtship. Of course, something has to happen in the book, right? But at the end of the day, their love story is not so challenged or so it's not put in the hands of a culture that is not of our culture. It's not going through some otherworldly warfare, you know, or even this worldly warfare. Like, it's true. Just, the books, I don't know. It's like something like that representation. And again, we're in a time where I'm seeing a lot more of this representation than I'm discussing now. But I feel as though this overall box of the romance genre, we can't see ourselves there as Black people because, again, it is like a contained box. Yeah. And, we're not a contained
Do you
society
think that's
in general.
Why we haven't, like, we don't see, like, a lot of Black romance novels in mainstream coverage. So do you think that is due to that fact of, like, the complexities of, like, they don't, like, folks, mostly as we see are mostly white readers, do not want to kind of delve into Black romance because they feel like it may make them uncomfortable or maybe make them feel like guilt or whatever may have you? Do you think that is a reason why we're not really seeing like a huge break? I think Jasmine Guillory has wrote a lot of books, but I'm just starting to see her like really like cross over color lines, if you will. Do you think that's like kind of impacting that?
I mean, I think it is for sure because when you ask, it happens here at the store, when somebody comes in, hey, I'm looking for this or that.
Light read, yeah.
A lot of the times our options or our recommendations will be that of color or, someone Black or what have you. And, you do the thing where it's like, okay, well, we'll try to find one for you. What speaks to you? And then sometimes the one that speaks to them still is the Emily Henry or the what have you. And okay, that's what speaks to you. It's a personal journey thing too. Like where are you? Why do you come into a bookstore, get recommended a book by a popular novelist in the romance genre, but then you choose another popular novelist in the romance genre? It's kind of like how Viola Davis talks all the time about how she and another very popular actress who's, probably Meryl, but like, she, they don't have the same opportunities. They've got the same accolades and the same what have you, but they just don't have the same opportunities. And it is because of this sort of ceiling, this threshold of color lines. And how much harder it is to break through that mental barrier that anyone can feel if they're not speaking with someone that they feel like they have a connectivity with. It really is just that thing of personal bias that goes with decisions like that sometimes. Like sometimes someone genuinely just wants something easy, light, fun read. And if there's a Black person on the cover or there's a Black name over there, I don't know if I'm going to go down some narrative of some, because Hollywood loves to Oscarize the drugged out mom and the crack fiend and the slave story, so it's like, so naturally that indoctrination, right, can cause a reader to come in and say, am I going to get the crack fiend? Am I going to get the drugged mom? Am I going to get the slave narrative? Is any of this going to happen in this book? No, they just go into a wedding and meet each other. It's just like, it's, again, the preconceived notion built, again, on the foundation of capitalism and white supremacy in this country alone, and then outside on a global level, because colorism is certainly a global epidemic. All of this gets microtized to just the reader, and how in the mind of the reader that just wants to read something light or what have you, they go for what they sure has to be light, which is another part of the reason why some of the more popular romance novelists are as popular as they are because they consistently just do that thing. They have 12 books that you can choose from and be like, oh, this one was okay. I love that one. That one was okay. But I'm a fan.
Yeah.
It's like, the body of work speaks a lot of times.
So what you highlighted just now about certain people coming in and going still, like, you're like, oh, no, this book is still light. But yes, the main character is black or a person of color. But then they go over there. I think that's a direct challenge of black love, right? What you're saying is that you don't know if this black love story will come with trauma because you are automatically assumed that anytime a black person finds joy, it has to be a trial and tribulation before they get to that joy. And I also would actually challenge the publishing company as well, because if we saw from the stats, 7.8% of the readers of romance are black, while mostly 70 plus are white. Why is that? Because I think that a lot of times, and we talked about this, you're not a romance reader, but I wasn't either, but I am now. And I think that I automatically assumed I'm not going for this fluffy stuff. I'm not doing this. Like, why would I? Like, I'm not doing this. Like, this is, there's more serious things to think about than some damn romance, right? And I think, like, I am ashamed of myself that I even had that thinking and theory, because I am deserving of lightness and joy and love that is not hard, and I'm allowed to look or read a book with accomplished women who also can have it all, find love in, softness and their femininity, and they don't have to be hard to get the love that they deserve, and they don't have to compromise their career ambitions or whatever may have you to get to that love. Right. And I was so conditioned to think that every time I look at romance, it's going to be a bunch of Fabios on the cover, hair swinging in the wind, like I'm having like proclamations of like, oh my God, like The Notebook and stuff. Like, I think that's, honestly, don't shake me. Don't come for me, y'all. I don't really like The Notebook. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not here for that. Yeah. Like, it's not cute to me. Yeah. From Scratch was a beautiful love story. Like, the Netflix series.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to cry. Snot dripping down my nose. Tears, and I already knew it was going to happen, and I'm still freaking boo-hooing because it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so yes, her husband wasn't black, but it was still a beautiful story. You saw her parents finding love. Like, her dad found new love with her stepmom, and how her stepmom wasn't able to have children, but like showing how she was able to give that love, even though she weren't her blood children, they were her children. And I saw a lot of myself in that with my stepmom. My stepmom, she didn't birth me, but she is like, in all intents and purposes, like an extension of my mother. So I just think about that kind of stuff where we have handicapped ourselves too as black people, not thinking that we are deserving of love and all its complexities and still being easy. You don't have to deal with cheating, abuse, or whatever may have you. You can just have normal stuff like, how are you going to figure out how you guys going to live together? Or how are you going to figure out, like, oh, is this person going to move here for you? Or what happens, like, just regular how to live with somebody. Yeah. Why does it have to be so... Yeah. And so I want us to be free from that. And I also would like to challenge our readers who are not black, or even if you are black, to go ahead and pick up a romance novel. And I gave you a few. If I had to rate, like, the lightest is Jasmine and probably Talia Hibbert. And so her series is great, and it's like 3 sisters. Yeah. And like each book is talking about each sister, one of the Brown sisters. Yeah. And so I challenge everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is. It's like I accept your challenge, because I know it's interesting. I have such a not different. I just have another approach to love and viewership, and like in a. I think my fight against the romance novel genre is just wanting to experience love and versus having the escapism factor that I come from, regardless whatever the book is. It's like I think I still want to see love in reality, and I think I still want to see, like, because that's the thing is, like, I read a lot of books that's like, what's a world that I could never be a part of? What's a thing that I could never experience? But then it's like, I can also just dig deeper into the things that I do experience and that I do have a part of, you know, because I do experience love. I do have been in love. I've been in love with all kinds of love, right? So...
And you deserve an uncomplicated
You know what
love,
I mean? Exactly.
Which is what I think Jasmine perfectly provides is uncomplicated love. You can have a story where there is complications and things may never go exactly as planned. And her books do that as well. But you also deserve... I think that we as Black people don't think we deserve a fairy tale, whatever that means. And what that fairy tale is a love that is forgiving.
Yeah.
Closeness. And just like... freeing.
Yeah.
You should be free in your love.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think I challenge everyone to really dive in because you can really have freeing love.
Yeah.
Love shouldn't contain you. It should make you blossom. It should make you feel like you could take over the world with whoever you're with. Your partner should be the person that supports you, makes you feel like you can fly.
Right.
And I love that about these books. And I'm sorry it took me so long to get into it.
No, I love it. Well, the fiance done gave us our home.
Yes,
you know
I did.
Thank you.
So any closing thoughts about anything about romance, love, Black love, anything before we let everybody
No, yeah, like, I mean, you know, love, I mean, at the end of the day, love, as cliche as it sounds, you know, love is love, that whole thing. And so, you know, when anybody finds love within whatever pocket that they feel is for them, let it be, and don't fight the hatred on it, or fight the hatred on it, and don't bring it to the table, because there's love out here for you too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all kinds, and just really dig into what love means, and you know, just dig into that. I want all of us to explore love heavily. Like, I've been doing that for like a decade now, specifically. What does love mean to me? And it's been very eye-opening. And I learn more. New challenges come every time, you know what I mean? Now it's like, you know, I finally will shoot for Miss Guillory, finally, probably. So it's like, you know, Yeah.
I would say to end, Black love is revolutionary. I mean, in a society where they told us we couldn't get married, we had to create our own traditions, jumping the broom, fighting to go across countries, plantations, worlds, continents to find that love. Like, believe in the love that our ancestors fought for, and how impactful love is, and how it can really change your entire life, and how you view yourself. And so I want everybody to get that, and you deserve it. Everybody deserves love.
Indeed.
And so with that, you know, we end. And so, you know, I'm Niccara.
And I'm Brandon.
And thank you for listening.
Thank you. Until we see y'all next time, keep on bookishly healing through life.
Peace, y'all. Hey y'all, it's Niccara. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. If you like it, please make sure you review, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. Of course, sharing is caring, so make sure you share with your friends and let everyone know to come into Charm City Books to get our recommendation. And thank you so much for listening again, and I'll see y'all. Be good.